Oh, we're back. And my internet's shit too. Nice. Work. What? Be right back. I'm gonna go hit my router as well. Oh, it's super laggy too. Come on. Computer crashes and I get super lag. All right, let's just get. I need to get started, so we're just gonna deal with it for right now. Just gonna deal with it. All right, we're back. It's very laggy right now, unfortunately. Just smack my computer to speed up that internet. So that's how it works. Fonzie style. But please let me know if you have any questions. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I mean, it's at 3,000. I think maybe just the visual doesn't update with time. Okay. Anyway. I hate crashing. And I know what it is. It's oh, thank you, Namorous. Thank you. It's the do I need to solidify in this? Oh no, there's no solidify. It's the what am I trying to say? How many first streams you gonna have, Sam? I'm trying. I'm trying. Hello, Raccoon City. Welcome. Depends on how many times my computer crashes today. All right. Bam. Bam. Okay, so hopefully we can finish the retopology today in a nice fashion. I think it's pretty doable. I think it's all pretty doable today. Just giving you a hard time on your stream title. Does it say what's it say on Kick? Oh, interesting. I assumed it was updating my my Kick title with the restream, but I guess it does not. I'll have to go back and fix that then. Well, I appreciate you letting me know because I had no idea that it wasn't updating on Kick. Come on, Kick. Get it together. Kick doesn't seem as compatible with the multi-stream stuff. Looking forward to the substance work. Yes, me too. Me too. It is gonna be awesome. The it's been like a few days. I thought I would get there a few days ago, but it's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Mod me, I can fix it in 2 seconds. Lol. I appreciate it. I'll have to figure it out at a different time because I don't even quite. I've barely used like the actual Kick interface for the most part. I may end up just focusing on YouTube. We'll see. YouTube and I'd actually really like to get on Instagram. I think that'd be a good one. Hello, Nimitz Gamer. Welcome. Good morning. How is your Wednesday going? We're working on some retopology right now on our mech guy that above me. And we're doing pretty good. Getting close to finished already on some of this major stuff. I'm actually from India, so good evening. Well, good evening. Really going for it with that hairdo? Yes. This is my crawled out of bed and turned on my computer haircut. The classic took a shower before sleeping. Bam, and space those. That looks pretty good. Hello, Chava. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back. We're just doing some more retopology. We'll definitely be doing a lot of UV mapping for Zin here and getting into substance for Eben later in the day. Potentially we could get into substance for Zin today, but I'm not going to plan on it. I'm going to plan for it. Bam. Okay, so now we'll select all these little edges in here and bevel them. So the retopo version looks like this. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. Now we just need to make the bottom. I think what we'll do to make the bottom of this is we'll keep it real simple. And we'll call this retopo head plate top. We'll just duplicate it. Boom, move it down from the bottom view. Kind of scale it in a little. Hit it with the shift tab so we can project it onto the bottom. Excuse me. And then all we really need to do is dissolve these extra edges. Right here. It didn't quite work because how's life, my friend? It is going well. Good morning, Era. Ahoy to you as well. Hello, hello. But it's going quite well. We're getting close to some good, productive checkpoints in our projects, which always feels nice. and I slept well. Thank you. This is my my classic bedhead cockatoo. About 2 days right now, right? Um, right now we've been working on this avatar for about a week. We worked on it all last week, and so, but for the last 2 days we've been working on it. We have been working on this one since the start of the week. Retopology, I believe we started last week. Was today Tuesday? Oh, it's Wednesday already. Gosh darn. February 1st. Okay, so there's one plate. Hello, I am making the retopology. So this is a process. It's more like Fridays that we're going to finish him this week, the Minotaur, for Zin here, and probably carry into next week because we have a little bit more work to do. For some reason, smacking my computer seems to help the internet. I don't know what's up with that. Another time zone. I mean, you're not in the wrong ballpark. Do I just duplicate it? They're slightly different. They are slightly different. I think what I'll do is take the bottom again. Here, duplicate it, separate it. And we'll take this one and this one. And then I can just kind of mush it around first. And project. Okay. Not perfect, but saves me some time. But yeah, Nimit. So the process we're doing right now is called retopology. And it's basically where we take our very high resolution mesh for the character and we make a simple version on top of it. And it's a simple version that's actually going to go into a game. So it's a form of optimization that helps things keep things like moving quickly in a game. Takes some time, and it's definitely can be a challenging process, but it is worth it. Oh, so close. That almost was like perfectly on the edge. That would have been satisfying. That would have been awesome. Okay. And then this one over here. Is it paid work or are you doing it for yourself? This is a commission that I'm doing for a client. And most of the work I do on stream here is going to be for my clients. Or for a product that I'm going to make to sell. Bam. Edge loops. And we'll space this again. And same this way, edge loops. Space X. Bada boom. Okay. So a little bit of cleanup now, and then we'll do the little dip. Yeah, I do make avatars for VR chat full time. So this is my full time work here. It's a lot of fun. Definitely an interesting, perhaps odd job from the outside perspective, but a satisfying one. Bada boom. But yeah, if you have any questions about specifically what I'm doing, please feel free to ask. I'm just kind of spacing out right now as we get involved in the work. And if anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'm going to smack Peter again. Get that good internet back. There we go. I just saw the spell book on your Gumroad, and it's really good. Thank you. Thank you. I like that one. It came out very well. Came out very well. Definitely feel free to take it and make your own version. Bada boom. There we go. Right, almost done. Almost done. With this section. Certainly a lot more to do. Awesome. Well, the spacing on that was almost perfect. And we'll bridge these. Bridge, no merge. There we go. How do you do the texturing stuff, like in Blender or in other software? So the first step is to create a UV map when you're texturing something. So you have to do that in Blender or some other modeling software. And then the tool that I like to use for actually painting is called Substance Painter. If you're familiar with it, I really like that tool. Certainly, it just kind of comes down to your personal preference, but I think it's a great one. And so we're going to try to get everything into Substance Painter today for this character. How do you break down a difficult concept? Um, hmm, Interesting question. Depends on the context of what you mean. If you're referring to like 3D modeling here, like or like making things in Blender, I think the best way to do it is to just start with very simple versions of what you're trying to do. It's much harder to go in and try to do the whole your like imagined perfect version of something. As for Substance, still pricey nowadays. It is, and I am on this the subscription, um, for better or worse. 0.6. Bam. But yeah, do you have a specific concept you're referring to, Chava, or like what type of concept are you referring to? Okay, that looks good. And then go back to the bottom ones here. Isolate. And I just want to bevel this edge right here. Bam. And now they should look quite good and simple. Beautiful. That's going to bake super nicely. Love it. All right. Is that the whole head? I think we just need to adjust this thing. Free topo nose. Yeah. Sure. Hopefully it's not too laggy. Definitely let me know if it's lagging too much. All right, so we did it. We did it. There is our simplified version of the model. I think what I'm going to do for the eye socket is we're going to duplicate this, kind of make it a little bit bigger. Actually, no, we'll run a cut here. Duplicate that cut, make it bigger, bigger, then dissolve it. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's fine. We'll leave that in there. And then fill this, extrude it, flatten it. And now we're going to have a eye socket. All right. So this doesn't actually attach directly. Perhaps it should. But now we'll have like a nice little spot where we have this free floating object. Something to that effect. Bam. But yeah, did I answer your question, Chava, or do you have any other questions regarding that idea? Hopefully this stream isn't too laggy. And I'm not far behind. Oh, it looks like we missed the little spike up here. Okay, got two here. I think we just go ahead and bridge these. I want to make something like a Native American head feather band. Okay, interesting. Well, there's certainly a lot of detail on something like that. So was your question network did not work? No, it's okay. It's my internet too. It's my internet too. um, my internet's not doing super well at the moment. All right, there we go. Well, for something like that, I think for any like 3D modeling project, when I'm approaching it, I just try to you just want to render it into like its simplest parts. Excuse me. Well, the front's okay. So if you're looking to like make something that's very complicated, you just want to find the very simple shapes. Like if you had to turn everything in a feather headband into the simplest possible shape to represent that, those objects, that's probably the best place to start with 3D modeling. So from simple to complex, yeah, you just want to break it down into very simple shapes. Um, Now, for me, my approach is usually to make a very high resolution version to start with, like a sculpture or a lot of subdivisions. Maybe that's what you're looking to do, or maybe not. But generally, my first order of business is to, make by using those simple shapes, make some detailed versions, and then retopologize at the end. Right now, we're just copying and pasting these vectors. It'll give me some smoother results. Thanks for your information. I will work on that. Yeah, perhaps that's pretty general information, but if you have more specific questions, definitely let me know. Back up a little bit. Get back to the bevel. So I want to bevel the top of the tooth. All right. Oh, this looks dope. This looks really good. Okay, I think we only have 2 final objects to make. Well, we need to duplicate the toes, which we can do right now. Then we need the joints in here. And we'll be solid. So where are those joints? I think one's the legs. This guy. Okay, I'm tempted to just close this. Like that. All right, let's isolate. I think we'll make a circle of 16. And let me look at this really quick. Mirror subdivision. If I just duplicate this and send it scene collection, we'll call it retopo leg joint. Maybe about the feathers, or I think it's better to sculpt it, or more like the first model then sculpt. And is that after that hair cycles or more X gen for more realistic look? I'd say that you would want to. It depends. I think you have to decide at the start if you want a simple or a realistic look, because that's going to determine how you approach the whole thing. Like if you're going for a stylized feather, then just sculpting it probably makes the most sense. You know, you get a little lump of clay and you put like some scratches on it to imply feathers and stuff. Good morning, Motherly. Hello. Um, I think that probably be a fantastic point to start at. Um, but like for your feathers and stuff, like I wouldn't worry about modeling like each individual strand. You could probably use something like a skin modifier or a wireframe modifier to like really block out your feathers really quick. Even a particle system would be pretty fast. Geonodes plus particle systems are pretty powerful. But if you did want to make like each individual feathery strand, get a good reference image and just try to copy that exactly. Um, and Might take you a little bit to model everything. With geometry nodes, you might be able to speed some of that up. Um, with But yeah, I think your first order of business is it simplified or not? Hello, Zoom. Good morning. Welcome. How is your day going, Zoom? One step at a time. Nearing its end, but it's been a productive day. Good. That's good to hear. More sick programming skills on display. How to combine these? Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom. Is this centered in here? If I take this and parent it to it. Does it look centered? No, it's not. How do I do this again? There's something relations object. Can I have a local? Maybe Alt P clear parent. Yeah, it's just slightly different. There we go. Now it should be perfectly centered. Okay. I spent the last 15 minutes making Dolly spit out some art. Fun stuff. Okay, heck yeah. Old Man Flash. Well, thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. Hello. Welcome back yourself. Welcome to the stream. We're trying to figure out how to make make a wheel joint. Make a wheelie. All right, that should be the perfect start right here. Can I show you something I've been working on, Sam? Absolutely. All right, so here's one half of this. Sam, technical artist is similar like rigging. Yes. So a lot of times technical artists will be a rigging artist. That can be a big that can be a similar position. All right, that should work. I can close this up and this one and take these. Like that. But yeah, usually technical artist refers to like working with the team. Sometimes a technical artist is like a shader artist, someone who makes a complex shaders of some kind. Also, another aspect of art production that pretty much you'll always need to hire someone for is making shaders. Um, all right, sent. Man. Ooh, very cool. Awesome. So here's what's mother working on. This is awesome. Very, very cool. I always love organic chitin like armor. Very satisfying. Hello, Wendy. Good morning. That was very, very cool. Great work, Molly. Very satisfying. This is your OC that you've been working on the last few days. All right, let's bevel the edge. Bam, bam. Well, it's coming out super well. Very well. It's a very fun character design. Okay, I think that joint looks good. I'm just going to take the edges on our beveled part here, 0.2, just scale them up a little so that we get slightly larger, smoother edge. Hello, Sally Shetron. Hello. This is Hokage. Oh, hello. Hello, Hokage. Call me Sally. It's in the name everywhere I put. Well, hello, Sally. Sally slash Hokage. Welcome back. Hello, hello. We're working on some joints right now, and we're almost done. So close to done with our character. Where did I put the joint? Where's my arm joint? which collection is this in? Arm upper. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we could do with some changes though. Something like that for our little elbow joint. I had so many nightmares about Retopo. Haha. It's not too bad. I say on my 4th day of retopology, it's not too bad. It can be a pain, for sure, but it does feel worth it after you get into it and like not having done it or um yeah, I think that oops, it's worth learning and it is worth doing, as painful and as scary as it can be. But maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I'm jaded. Corrupted by my love for retopology. See the results afterward, it is amazing. That's the hope, at least. That is the hope. I think we're doing good. I think we're doing good. It is challenging though. Bam. I do dream now of modeling. Very frequently recently, have I had dreams of just moving vertexes around. It's very weird. Just feels like I'm still working, I guess. Maybe I'm working too much, but I definitely have dreamt multiple times in the last month or so of just like doing exactly what I'm doing right now. The edges are beveled edges or creased edges. So if you go into your item transform, you can see we have this crease. And so those work with the subdivision modifier. When you add more crease in the subdivision will make that edge sharper. we'll do a cut right here to get this one. There's also a way to not similar like bevel segments is exactly basically the same. Exactly that. Yeah, so you can with in conjunction with some of the modifiers, you can kind of control how the modifier is applied. Which is awesome for a lot of things. I think the subdivision modifier is pretty good. It would certainly be very awful to use if you did not have that control. Um, which part is hard for you to handle in this model so far? I think everything's been kind of straightforward. There's just been a lot of retopology. So there's just been a very large amount of retopology, which makes it difficult. Um, it's a little more time consuming. Um, the face was difficult because the jaw works a little differently than a lot of other faces. So it's like a mechanical face, but it will need to like express itself. It needs to have a lot of expressivity. Expressivity. So that was challenging, for sure. To just kind of make sure I'm making the face in a way that I'm going to be able to manipulate it later and animate it and stuff. That may still be something I have to come back to and redo. Hopefully not, but stranger things have happened. All right, there's our retopology one. Perfect. So put that in there. And now we have our retopo. Oh. We have an auto retopology like an add-on. There is some auto retopology built into Blender. So if you go into your object data tab, there is a remesh option, and you have the ability to do voxel remesh, and there is now a quad reflow remesh as well. That being said, yesterday I did buy another add-on, and this was pretty pricey. I can't remember how much I paid for it. It's like $100 or so. But it's like a paid add-on called Quad Remesher. They also are very similar, Quad Remesher. It's all the kind of a generic naming competition. But that one's pretty good. I'm gonna stand up now. But yeah, certainly you'll want to. Oh man, he does look good though. He looks really good. Look at the boy. Look at my boy. Yo, 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 I like your hairstyle. Thank you, Thorn. This is me taking a shower before going to bed and getting bedhead. A powerful combo. Okay, I think let's make a backup copy because we just did so much work. And we'll call this 09 body topo done. Quad remesher is like Z remesher in brush, that's cool. Yeah, it's pretty similar. It is very, very similar. I'm so not awake, I didn't even notice. You're fine. Looks solid. Not you rocking the bedhead hair. Classic, classic internet addict hair. um, but also, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all having a great day. Uh, we're just kind of finished up our retopology for our mech guy. So now we need to do the hard stuff, which is UV wrapping everything, which hopefully won't be too painful. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I think we'll want to cut out this interior section we have here. Yeah, let me know if anyone has any questions, and thank you for all the new people coming by. Hope you're having a great day. Definitely hit that follow button if you're new here, because we're trying to build a little community about making 3D art, all that jazz. So if you have any questions about Blender or what I'm doing, please feel free to ask. Mine's worse, a messy side ponytail with bangs covering up my right eye. Lol, don't call me emo pleb JK, you to you. Emo! Emo alert! That's my alarm sound. Sound the alarm. I was wondering why you weren't using any auto add-ons since most of your work is all about retopology, like a daunting task / time consuming. The main problem with retopology tools are it's easy to make a mesh over something. It's hard to make a mesh that unwraps well. Just like discontent for sunlight. Vampire! Really, your main problem you will be consistently encountering with the automatic retopology tools is just that it makes that topology. Like if you're familiar with what a spiral is, basically like instead of having loops that, like for example, you can tell in my mesh right here that when I run a cut on this, like it's going to loop in a nice way. Whereas with the quad tools, most likely it will not loop at all. And you will be kind of at the mercy of whatever the tool makes. And it can be much, much harder to unwrap something nicely if that's the case. Not always, but most of the time. That being said, for things like if you did a massive sculpture and it's going to be a static sculpture, like you're not going to move it at all. It's not deforming, and like especially for photogrammetry stuff, it's probably fantastic. It simply creates more different kinds of problems. Everything in 3D is a bit of a trade-off. You know, you're balancing one thing for the other. But that being said, I did use the quad reflow yesterday because I was working on something that just has so much. It would just genuinely be incredibly painful for me to do it all by hand. You know, maybe this looks quite painful as well, but it's not as bad as what I was dealing with yesterday on the Minotaur. And that was genuinely something where I'm like, okay, I just don't have time to do this. I have to just use a tool for it because it's not going to happen otherwise. So that was interesting. All right, we're just trying to straighten these out a little bit right now. Nice and even spacing as best we can. Let's put on Zim body. We already have one. Perfect. Okay, now we can see our UV map. Just looking exceptional. It just, all of 3D is, first you have to learn what kind of problems exist, and then you have to learn what problems you want to deal with. It's like, what will I be dealing with, and what do I actually want to be dealing with? And like right now, I know I want to switch up my UV maps because I can do some very simple operations to make it easy to work with. Make it easy to run geometry down. Now I know that these are perfectly straight because I've straightened them in my UV map. And it looks good. Bye. Anyway, yeah, let me know if you have any more questions. Certainly love explaining what I'm doing. Should have included these in the straightening thing I just did. Probably these two. Can you also send the link to YouTube? Oh, sorry. For what in particular? Which link? For the quad remesher? Oh yeah, yeah, I definitely can. I did not link it, but I can look it up quick. I'll paste that right there. It's the Exoside link. Exoside. Let's see how this works. If I do this. No problem, yeah. It is a little pricey, but they have an indie license, which is what I use since I'm an independent developer. It's a little bit cheaper that way. A little bit cheaper. Or I should say affordable. Trying to learn how to sculpt, and I want to do a knight. How would I go about making the armor? Hello, knight that guy. Welcome. So I prefer for a lot of clothing to start with a with subdivision. So like for anything that's clothing, I like to start with a subdivision. Do as much as I can with a subdivision modeling, and then go in with the sculpt. A lot of time, little details like little thorns or roses, or you imagine like the little tiny details. You can either do that in sculpting or save that for texturing. So like scratches and stuff on armor, you could just make the surface and then save all the tiny micro details for your texturing step, and just do the large forms with your modeling. But like I was, or my usual process is again to make a very high poly version and then retopologize on top of that. And if you make your base armor or the like initial simple form with a subdivision modifier, you'll have a good idea on how to retopologize it. Because usually I think about unwrapping things in terms of um, how it would unfold if it was a subdivided object. um, but also welcome. I appreciate the question, not that guy. Um, is your title a reference to The Expanse? Or I suppose it's kind of a meme in general at this point, but if you haven't seen The Expanse, there's also a not that guy meme within the show. But look how uniform that spacing is. Oh, it's delicious. Love it. Uniform spacing. Retopology not safe for work. Even spacing. um, Another nice way to do it, not that guy, is if you do want to make a very detailed set of armor, just make a little blob and like try to get it to be that form with just normal quick sculpting. Make like a very simple representation of it, and then make the subdivision on top of that. That's how I made the hands for this character, because I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to make the subdivision for, and like a lot of times you can kind of end up fighting a subdivision modifier to like get the shape that you want. So having a simple sculpture to wrap your subdivided object around can make a huge difference in terms of speed and working with it. Thanks. Do you also have a Discord? I do have a Discord. Let me grab that link right here. And we'll paste it right there. Yeah, thank you for asking. Welcome. Also, I don't know if YouTube is giving me notifications anymore for subscriptions. If anyone has subscribed or followed, super appreciate it. I'm gonna have to take a look at that because I haven't got any sub notifications in like the last 2 days, and I know people have subscribed. So, big shout out to everyone that did. All right, we'll have to figure that out. Okay, and again, we're just straightening things out. This is my favorite thing to do when I'm working with retopology, is just getting everything nice and crisp and put in a position that I can understand. As the hardest part about just a default UV map, where you just kind of let it lay out however it unwraps initially, is a lot of times you actually have no idea what's what and how it's oriented, how it's positioned. So taking the time to map it out yourself is nice. Bada boom. Okay. So the only wobbly spot is this middle strip now. We got the tubes looking very aligned and straightened. Actually, let's take another closer look here. So I believe that this chunk here should be this one. How's that looking? That looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more aligned in the middle. We have acquired egg. I am prepared to face the day. That made me hungry. I want egg. I'm just trying to put these in the middle of the straightened bits. A little bit centered more nicely. Good to go. Old Man Flash, dedicated lurker, is dedicated. Well, I appreciate your dedicated lurking. If it is, in fact, yourself you're referring to. Boom. Then I didn't straighten out this one. Or this one. Where's this? That's pretty nice. Go straight down. I do be blendering right now too. Good, good. That's what I love to hear. More Blender addicts. That's what I'm all about. Share the Blender addiction. Tearing cloth simulation, a fun time. Interesting. Sus. No, I'm just kidding. Unless. Sally, let's make it a contagious addiction. Absolutely. I just love blenders. I love it because you're just learning. You feel your brain doing stuff. It's a good feeling. Bye. Speak to you soon. Sounds good, Chava. Enjoy your day. Hope to see you later. Thank you for coming by. Want claws to rip out through screen as a transition. Dirty minds, jeez. I blame the internet. Blame the internet. I have no fault. No fault of my own. Okay, so these are still not straightened out here. 0.6. Where is this? Well, not that I haven't taken the setup and applying it to clothing models. I mean, again, power of Blender. Truly astounding. Okay, so I think I'm going to redo this straightening here on this edge here. Did I put the cursor there? I did, thank goodness. There we go. Oh yeah, nice even spacing in there. Do enjoy the theme you got going in Blender though. Thank you. It's like a chocolate mint. I love it. Visit your website and ooh la, what a model for real. Thank you, Sally. Thank you. Yeah, June came out very well. I have not shown her off as much as maybe I should in terms of, trying to get her sold, but it is what it is. I'll be a businessman someday, so I figure all that stuff out. All right, I think we're pretty much gold here on our mapping of the tail. It looks really good, very clean. We just have to fix up the front and back end, and then we're good to go. Nice Gumroad. I enjoy the Fat Merchant. Lol. Thank you, thank you. He came out well. Apparently he's in some Unreal Engine Fortnite game. I have to go check it out somewhere. I know I mentioned posting the bird model on a local bird group. Did I also mention I was approached by a rescue asking for free work? I was like, well, it's been a while since I did any charity work, so I'm gonna make a few renders for a merch or something. We'll work out details later today. That's really cool. That's really cool. You know, definitely make sure that they're not taking advantage of you. You know, they're a rescue, so they're probably not, but definitely want to make sure you're approaching this work in a healthy way. That's pretty cool. That will be satisfying to make some work that is helping a rescue. And that's good stuff. Don't get much better than that. I'm a crazy bird lady. It's right up my alley. Let the birds flow through you. Shouted you out on my Discord. Hope to see you at 75 soon. Thank you. Thank you, old man Flash. Super appreciate that. Thank you. We're on that grind. We're on that grind. Thank you again for shouting me out. And that's cool. Do you stream as well then? If you have your own Discord. That's my assumption when I hear people they have their Discord, but you're at least an artist with a Discord. Okay, tail done. And that looks super clean, super fresh. Move on to more. More. Yes, when I get time, but my work has a lot of NDA, so I don't get much screen time. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I feel happy to have this line of work because it is nice to be able to share things, but you know, get that sweet, sweet NDA money. How the heck am I gonna unwrap this? All right, we'll start with the horn. I do a lot of visual effects. Okay, heck yeah. Modeling's my main thing. I'd love to be able to do some animations at some point, but I respect the visual effects line of work quite a bit. Seems like it's tough. Seems like a lot of tough work, to be honest, but worthwhile. But worthwhile. Tedious in a different way. That's a good way to put it. Its own form of tedium. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na. Okay, we're doing good. Straighten that out. Straighten this out. I mostly rough mod allow my shader FX knowledge to pull the brunt. It is amazing. Like, I think the instincts when I first got into doing this kind of work was like initially I wanted to make animations, like I said, but my thought was like, okay, like once I can learn how to make good models, like then I'll be able to make the animations. But it turns out that like you can pretty much spend an infinite amount of time in whatever direction you choose. And like knowing how to balance like what do you actually need to make to accomplish your goal is like actually the hard thought process and like the right way to approach a lot of things. Like what's the bare minimum? Um, I maybe have yet to still learn that lesson fully. Because there's a lot that I probably could do, but just apparently really enjoy working on the details. Apparently that's what I like doing because that is what I end up doing. A little of everything in this field, absolutely. NDA money. I gave a quick glance at Animation Mentor pricing this morning, debating whether it's worth trying to get a scholarship and take advantage of my game industry context. But also these layoffs, am I right? Well, it's funny because I've seen a lot of companies, they do these huge layoffs and then they're immediately hiring again. So I don't know if it may not be, it may still be a good sign for hiring. A lady just got mad at me because I offered her my seat. She's probably upset because you think she's old. um, ageism. uh, NDA money equals angry project leads and moving deadlines. Yeah. And every time you show them something, they want something different. Um, well, Wendy, I think if you do have context, like, frankly, this may sound bad to an outsider, but the best way to get a job is to know people in that company. That's just really how it is. Like it sounds a bit like nepotism, perhaps it is, but if you have those contexts, I'm not going to judge you to take advantage of them because those are the things that really do make a huge difference in getting a job. Like um, if you can, I would do it. Networking. TLDR, it's not what you yeah, it's not what you do, it's who you know. Not what you know, it's who. Correct. Yep, networking communications is key to anything. Yeah, I think one of the really unsaid things about going to a university or a college is just that if you make contacts there that are in the industry already, they're going to be your number one resource to getting a job. Like And so, if you have that ability, definitely, and you want it, take advantage of it because that chance to use that networking does fade with time. Um, you know, you have to hit that iron while it's hot for networking. I would say that's what got me where I am. Good, good. Which is both sad, but has gotten me places. Yeah, it's. I don't judge it as like it's just an acceptance of human nature. it's it's just how humans are. It may not be some ideal form of how things should work, but it is how things. It's well, the one couple when I met them learned I was getting into 3D and we're like, so looking for a job? I've worked for okay. There's some caveats. If you can get into like an industry or like a really well established place, that's probably the direction you want to go. If you end up working for a startup or a very small company, odds are you're going to be their workhorse. uh, but to be honest, that's where the issue of my SO's career keeping him here in the Midwest. Um, you just got to get that remote work, you know? boom, boom, boom. Maybe easier said than done, but sorry, yawn. Should I have attached this section to here? No, it's fine. It works fine. Heck, if you got a PC that can do VFX and rendering, render stuff for others, make a few bucks for your PC on downtime. Yeah, there was all the crypto hype a while back, but one of the few crypto things that I saw that really, really worked well, or blockchain things, was the Octane network. You basically just rent your graphic card when you're not using it and make money. Many ways artists and creators can help each other. It's true. It's true. Well, Wendy, it's certainly just, I would say go for it. Go for those connections. Because worst thing that happens is you're back at square one anyway. And, it's worth seeing what's out there. What's available to you. And I am making an assumption here, but if you are young, I would recommend that you put the time into your career now, and make sure that because if you definitely want to make sure if you can put the time in when you're young, it's going to make life a lot easier later. For making a career, this and that kind of stuff. So I would recommend just going for it, and things will work out. You can make your relationship work doing the hard stuff at the same time. Worst thing is no, and that's not as bad as the mental stress unknowing. True, absolutely. And then the later going, should I have done that? That's a feeling that I'm quite familiar with and do not enjoy. Should I have done that? Best to just find out. Anyway, not to overload you with information here, Woody. Certainly wishing you well either direction you end up going. Oh, that's interesting. We got a lot of stretching in these spots here. That's because I changed these. I'll definitely give it some thought. Yeah, absolutely. And if you ever have any other questions or seeking some feedback, I'd love to help out however I can. Because it's a wild world out there. Wild, wild world. Beautiful. There we go. That looks much better. All right, then we'll do the same for the bottom. I can't see anything. Go to this view and switch this to texture. Bam. Bam. Just eyeballing this. Get that straight. Oh, yeah. Nice. What is your aim here in UV maps? Kind of exactly what I was doing there. Your goal with a UV map is to have even squares. That's basically your main goal. Because this represents your resolution on your final uh, it represents it is an image. So you're just kind of trying to make sure there's no distortion. Things are very even. And so when you paint it, it will paint evenly. And that's basically how it works. So like even right here, you can see how it kind of, these lines go at this angle. So it's like, I can go and fix that. I may not because it's pretty minimal, but that is something you would want to be like keeping your eye out for. Yeah, and yeah, so that's a pretty easy fix. I'm just gonna go in and straighten them out. Bam. Probably the same for the bottom too. And bam. So yeah, just stuff like that. Because you will just be using it to paint an image. And that's the whole point. It's like getting clear, good resolution that maximizes the minimizes the distortion, maximizes the resolution. And we'll just average the island scale. All right, perfect. Another one down. Fingertips. Fingertips. Now we are missing the little plates in here. We'll have to go back and get those. So this will be interesting. I think that, yeah, what we'll do is cut the shoulder piece off right here. And then this bottom portion. And let's see what that looks like. Boom. These still attached? Yeah. Didn't cut that cleanly, but we've got this one here. And then we'll just do some cuts right here so it can flap open. Hey! Flash Toe, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Thank you, thank you. Hello, welcome. And finally, here as well. So you're switching. What was your username on your other, the other company, other name, other stream? My goodness, my brain. Flash from Kick got you here now too. Oh, okay, perfect. Flash. Okay, so you're on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. Super appreciated, Flash. Much appreciated. The trifecta, the triangle. Technically, I'm also streaming on. If you really want to be the extracurricular activity, I'm also on X. I'm also streaming on X. But trifecta is absolutely appreciated. Organizing files seems like another course to learn. So I can show you what I'm doing here. With mine, I just save copy, and this is what I do. I have my main file that I'm working in, and I always make a backup copy with a number in the order I did it, and then a little description of what that step is. And I found that to work best. And please feel free to steal that, because that may not be what you're referring to, but it is helpful. And hello, the fourth and final location. The prophecy is complete. I also appreciate the encouragement. Sorry, I was a bit lost in thought for a while. No, you're totally fine. It is a lot to think about, especially when you're getting into this kind of work. I definitely just recommend, you know, their first and foremost goal is just approach it being healthy. What does health look like for you? What allows you to return to do this kind of work again and again? It's all about health. Boom. Boom. Wait. There we go. He ain't live Discord as well. Oh yeah, that's the last place I need to connect with. Freezer Curses are. I read that. But yeah, yeah, just stick with it, Wendy, and you'll be fine. Okay, I'm just highlighting all the pieces that I know I can have straighten evenly. Well, never mind. Maybe not so evenly. Those ones are fine. Let's get rid of these ones. Okay, that's better. That's better. Yeah, but I will have to. I should actually get the stream on Discord as well. I just don't think of it as a streaming platform. It's a more social get together. It is, yeah. A little bit more casual, a little bit smaller meetups, which, there's a lot of charm in that. And then 0.8, move these over. We just want to straighten these out. Hello. From Kick to Twitch to X. Man with a mission. There we go. Just jumping between platforms. No judgment here. I think it's healthy to be unconstrained by one platform. Just support those who I see honestly doing their craft. So thank you. I certainly love what I'm doing. I'm happy to be here. I think my only complaint is how long retopology takes. And you're also interactive. Well, thank you. I've been slowly getting a little bit more lively as I get used to I think just in the past I wasn't quite sure what that meant. But now it's just hanging out and having fun, so really nothing to fear in that regard. Just hard to know what that means when you're first getting into streaming. Plus, if I can make a few more Blender addicts, I will do it. I will do it. Blender Nasha. Nasha means high or addiction. Interesting. Is that like slang, or is that from a certain language? Hype. Oh, that's cool. I haven't seen any emotes work on on the restream before. My emotes are more fun here. Yeah, that's cool. That's like the only one I've seen ever work through all the platforms. Indian language, Hindi. Oh, okay, very cool. Yes, Blender Nasha. Exactly. Sam Hype. Hype train. Choo choo. Womp womp. All right, so now they're encoded to be exactly 72x72 with only 8-bit palettes, so tinier, tiny. Tinier, tiny. It is interesting to see what emotes survive, what like format they survive in. I always think of them like hieroglyphs. Reinventing pictures for communication. Excuse me. Hello, hello. Oh, that's cool. And it does show up on the stream too. That's awesome. Sometimes the emote encoding just does not work, but that's exciting to see. I need to figure out a way to get my redeems from Twitch out of Twitch. So, like, maybe put them on my website if that's possible. So that way everyone can do like little redeems or fun interaction. Share the power. What I really want, long-term goal, is to get my stream completely synced with Resonite. So I can work and stream all within the same kind of space. And then I can bring people in and we could fart around in VR while making stuff. Anyway, long-term goals. Long-term goals. Like, comment, subscribe. Become Sam Cheesy adverts. You look lonely. I'm just thinking of the Blade Runner meme. Sub. Top. I mean, all right, got those ones set up, and then we want these ones. 0.2 PSX0. Create Avi in VR. Exactly. And worlds and interaction. I still just cannot help but entertain the thought that I want to get D&D in VR at some point, or do like tabletop RP. Not tabletop, full VR RP in Resonite, or probably Resonite over VR chat, because a little easier that way. to adjust things and change things. Okay, innuendo. Also, this, yes, we'll do. Well, I have plans. I have plans, but I have to make stuff for it first. So first, do something. I feel like I just should start streaming on the weekends. I feel that would be fun. Maybe like a pretty much a daily stream. What advice do you have for someone who's still new to 3D? I'm in college right now for game dev, but we haven't started learning about character and asset creation yet. I think that um, the best thing you'll step by step. Yes, we'll get there. Step by step. Cooler projects. Um, for for someone that's very new to 3D, your main goal is just to test things. I would do away with any idea of I'm going to make a perfect game or perfect asset or anything. Your goal is to get in there and break things and learn how things are breaking. Really understand why, how to get something from point A to point B in the simplest way possible. Because the more pressure you put on yourself to like make something perfect, the more likely it's just not gonna get done. Um, so I just heavily encourage you to get fun with it, do really small, quick projects to just test and learn. You know, it's like, what can I do in one day? What can I do in like 2 sets of working? Rather than like, I'm gonna spend like a month doing this. There's value in that. There's definitely value in working on something for a long time. But I think that in the beginning, you just want to be breaking things and understanding why things break the way they do. Um, like especially for like Blender and stuff, it's like I think learning the UI takes a long time. So it's like just get in there and break the find ways to break the UI. Why does it break this way and not that way? Are really easy ways to do that. Don't be me and spend 2 years on an environment. Exactly. I'm sure it's a great environment, Old Man Flash. But it's just I think that uh, in the beginning, your only goal is to just absorb a lot of things quickly, and then once you've absorbed enough, you'll have a much clearer idea of how to actually approach the whole thing in the first place. Not my main passion is the art side of it, but it just seems like I'm not improving. My main passion is the art side, but it just seems like I'm not improving. It's going to take time. So I think it comes to like enjoyment and improvement, if you've ever heard of the 10,000 hour rule, which is like in order to become a master at something or an expert at something, you have to spend 10,000 hours practicing, which is a lot. That's like saying like 10 years worth of work. So your only real concern in the beginning is how do I consistently put time into this? Because if you're able to consistently put time into it, eventually you're gonna hit that 10,000 hours no matter what. So your goal is to how do I make it fun and healthy so that I'm always coming back to it and enjoying it. Because if you just make it a grind, you'll probably burn out. But if you make it into something very fun, then eventually, no matter what, no matter how you feel right now, you're gonna get there. Because you know, think of it this way. If you sit down and you do one drawing, you're already a better artist than 99% of the human population because most people don't sit down and do a drawing. And then if you do a second drawing, you push even further into that percentile. And so as long as you're putting the time and consistently doing another project and another project and another project, your skills continue to follow that linear climb of uh, quality. Um, and it really is kind of that simple. You just need to find a way to be consistent with it. Even if you aren't where you want to be right now, you will eventually get there. I think your main goal at this moment is just to know that you've created the habits that will get you there eventually with time. And then it's like, I wish that I had spent a little bit more time just doing projects that I didn't feel had to be perfect. Um, or like, there's value in learning it that way, but just go in, make something that you want to, like, if you have your group of buddies, you're like, I'm just going to make something that's going to make my friends laugh. There's way more value in that than going, I'm going to build the perfect thing or the most beautiful painting. It's like, I think that if you can find a way to really strike that balance, you'll be good. Anyway, but that's me rambling. But again, as long as you're healthy with it, approach it in a consistent way, no matter what, you're already pushing into that upper threshold of skill. You may just not feel like it, but the one other secret is you'll never ever feel like that. You're always gonna feel like I have to do more. I have to do the next big thing. Like, that feeling doesn't go away. It's just kind of learning to live with it. uh Anyway, I could go on, but hopefully that answers your question. I learned when I'm not working on things for clients, creating the fundamental things all projects need have helped a lot in the learning process for myself. That's a good way to look at it too. Kind of a general foundation instead of what's going to be my super skill. It all kind of bleeds together. But I definitely can ramble more if you'd like me to. Not that guy, because I like rambling. And it's my number one activity. Okay, that looks straightened. These little squares here do not look very good. There. So I want to straighten them. But and one last thing, uh, and I really encourage this for all artists. It's probably a good idea to not make things for other artists. Uh, that is probably and I love being around artists. I love being around other creatives, but there is a very, very potent and untapped validation from people that are not experts and not artists. And if you can make something that makes your friend laugh or a family member like enjoy it, you really got something good there. Got to know when to walk away and take a breather. Glares at cloth simulation. 18 hours later. Yeah, I think in this online world, it's very easy to kind of fall into an echo chamber of like only going to places where like other artists hang out. And clearly there's value in that. But at the same time, normies, normies, normal people, if they like your work, it's very validating. Like, you go out to a cafe and draw, and someone's like, "Oh, I like your drawing." Like, that's a good feeling. Um, because it, it's tough when you're around other artists because you want to compete. There's a very competitive side to it, and that's healthy and it's good. Um, but I do wish there was perhaps more emphasis on getting your art out in front of people who don't look at art. Oh, the baking isn't the issue. Threadripper, go burr. Oh man, you got a Threadripper? Exciting. Can I borrow that? Can I have some of them threads? Anyway, not that guy. If you have any other questions, let me know. I can keep ranting if you'd like, and I may do just that anyway. But for now, I will put a pin in that. I got a monster little render, whatever you need. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't have anything to render yet. Um, but I did actually spend this last weekend doing some motion capture in VR, or at least testing the how to do that. And I'm excited because I think I could make some short animations quite quickly. Hmm. This spot's really tough right here. Unpin that section. I cramped. Oh. Oh. 32 core Threadripper 4090, 128 gigabyte RAM, 24 RX 5080s for EV rendering. My goodness, that's insane. That is like a whole server to yourself. Playing video games must be a very comfortable experience there. Premium, one would say. Okay, let's move this over a little. I don't get time to game, but yes, it's nice. Same. One day I'll have time. Someone let me retire. Why is this so low res right there? This little edge. It's getting like cut or something. Waiting for that big job that's oddly eating. One day. Though a lot of it too, it's like, what is it? Odd. What does easy mean? You know, it's like streaming's getting kind of close to that, where it's like if I could make something that allows me to just do the projects I want to do, and then share that with stream, and that's enough to support myself, like that might be the whole enchilada right there. I never look back at doing anything else. Though commissions are fun. I do like commissions. Better than working for a studio, in my opinion. This furry is lacking a lot of fur, lol. Pseudo, welcome. It's a mech furry. Replace the fur with metal paneling. But hello, Pseudo. How you doing? It's been a while. Does it still count as a furry if it's mech? It's debatable. Debatable. I don't know if there's a term for like, scalies for obviously like reptilian furries. Is there a phrase for metal furries? I'm doing okay. What about you? I'm doing good. Doing good. We're surviving, chilling, making fun art. The stream's kind of getting busy lately, so that's been a good feeling. Um, I hope you've been doing well. I think last time we talked, you had gotten a new job. I hope that's going nice. Boom. Toss the first shader on it there. Carpeted mech. Oh no. Fuzzy tanks. A new herb? I think so. Or maybe it was a project you were working on. Some sort of collaborative game or something. All right, we're going to leave that one alone because I think we've got everything roughly in the right spot except for this. I need to see that. Not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. I just remember you mentioning a project you were working on. On average, how long do you spend on your models? Uh, about 40 hours for an average for a normal commission. Um, so I do spread it out over the course of 2 weeks because I tend to work on two models at the same time, just because my attention span's bad. Um, so I'll kind of spread it out a little bit. Uh, that's kind of what it looks like. 40 hours in Avatar. Which can be fast in some contexts and then slow in others. I mean, I'd certainly love to just do it in the same day, but mech game I was contracted to build. Okay, yeah, I believe it was something to that effect. Well, I hope that's going well. Well, gonna pay you takes me 2 times as long. Well, I'm open to it. um, yeah, if you do need a commission, you let me know. You let me know. But I do think I'm working pretty fast now. It definitely took me longer in the past. I would say a year ago, it probably took me 3 weeks. Even if I said 2 weeks, it would take me 3 weeks. Um, bam, bam. So, it takes time to find that what pace you actually work at. We were getting ready to give a couple people our first build to try out the level. Exciting, exciting times. New phase for game development. I like my little Pac-Man here. Pac-Man Delio. Hello, Chip. How do you see multiple chats at once? I want to do that. I'm on OBS, and they have if you and I'm using Restream, which is a website that allows you to restream to it. And OBS seems to have some stuff built in for it default. So as long as it knows you're streaming to Restream, it seems to set up pretty well. Yeah, Restream. Yeah, and also welcome, Chip. Hello. Lumia Stream will do it as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to testing out a few other options. Restream seems good, but I get the feeling there could be some better options out there. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Right now we're working on UV mapping our mech here. So we've UV mapped a few things. We just finished all the retopology, so now we're going through, getting him ready for painting. I've been thinking about using Restream. It's awesome. It's awesome. Or the being on multiple platforms is awesome. It's cool to be able to share what I do with a lot of people. I think perhaps there's other features I might want in the future, but for now it works really well. Restream is best if your network can handle the multi-output. As I understand it, it only streams to a restream server and then back out. If it can multi RTP and MFP for OBS is better quality in the end. Hello, Adish and Endilkar. Welcome. Hello. Hello, the model's looking really good. Thank you. I'm really pleased with how he's coming out now. We're finally at retopology, and soon we'll be baking him for that extra crisp quality. At least sometime soon. One step at a time. But he's coming out really nicely. Very pleased. But yeah, that's the high poly version above me there. And also welcome, Adish. Hope you're having a good day. For some reason, when I do stuff, I never understand UV editing. My general rule of thumb is you want to make things square. That seems to work the best for me. Maybe not the best for everyone, but that's usually my method. If I can make it square, then I know I can paint it well. Bam. It's turned out very well. Thank you, old man. Thank you. I'm gonna say Flash. Old man sounds kind of potentially condescending. I feel old, so I don't want to call people old. Restream as a service takes care of the multi-source part for you. You only have to worry about single streaming platform. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just kind of you send it to one, it sends it to the rest kind of deal. People call me Flash or Omph. It's fine. Okay. Are you using an add-on to straighten your UVs? I've only done UV once. I didn't know that I needed to do that. I mean, you don't technically need to. You can approach UV editing in a few ways. But I use the UV toolkit here. There's a few other things here, but mainly the UV toolkit. Oh, you can use Action Recorder and UV. But yeah, the UV toolkit is great. Definitely love it. It has this straighten function here and this distribute function here, and I use those all the time. All the time. I'm only 35. I'm old man because I had my son, and Flash is old. Fair. I find modeling very hard. How should I approach it? Any tips? Start simple and start with things that interest you. If you like Pokemon, find a simple Pokemon to start modeling. Or if you're a fan of video games or something, find a game that you like and start there. Because you want to start with things that interest you and excite you, because your most important concern starting out is just being able to come back to it later and enjoy it in the same way. That's your main concern to start with. But yeah, the UV toolkit here, that is free. So if you search UV toolkit, there's a Gumroad page where you can download it for free. Definitely recommend doing that. I also use a UV Packmaster when I need to arrange everything, but that is paid. That is paid. I made a Kirby. Nice. Kirby is the best. Oops. Oh, that didn't work. Let's every other one. Okay, that's already straightened perfectly. Boom, 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 boom. Whatever. That works fine. Then here, distribute. The distribute function is really good if you've got, your UVs are straight in here in the 3D space or evenly spaced, then it makes pretty quick work of whatever you're doing. So you just do this. Distribute 0.8. Yeah, I think as long as you are, well, first you need to download Blender because we're trying to get everyone here hooked on Blender. That's definitely your first step. Inject Blender directly into your veins, and then Boom, boom, boom. Distribute. Boom, 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 boom. Distribute. All right, everything is very evenly spaced. I like it. One of us. One of us. Turns out Kirby is all spheres, so UV fixing was simple. XD cheated. Not cheated. Smart process. In character modeling, I prefer sculpting, but like the sort of making the mechanical parts then joining. Um, I think that's a great way to approach it. I prefer doing a high poly or sculpture version first as well. I think that makes it gives you the best results at the end of the day. Um, excuse me. And I would recommend everyone else do the same. Retopology can be a pain, but it is worth doing if you want your models to look awesome, even if it's painful. Drink the Blendade. Omega Quarks. Do you recommend buying Blender courses as a complete beginner? Thank you for the follow. Super appreciated. And welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. Let me know if you have any additional questions. I think that with Blender, there are enough free resources to get you started. When there's something a little bit more specific that you'd like to learn, then maybe look at a course. Like, oh, I really want to get this kind of job. Then maybe get a course. But to just learn how to work with Blender, where the buttons are, stuff like that, I think just doing some YouTube tutorials is totally fine. I learned pretty much everything I know just from Blender or just from YouTube. Is UV editing a have to? Because I'm sure Substance Paint or whatever is called doesn't need it apparently, but that's just what I've heard. It is required for Substance Painter. In order to put an image onto an object, it requires it to be unwrapped. So if I go ahead and I remove the seams that I've made and I unwrap it right now, and then unpin it and unwrap it, you can see it's distorted and stuff. There's probably a better way to illustrate that. But usually if it's unwrapped, it's basically going to be collapsed in on itself and not be able to pick up any sort of image information. Kind of started already by making that famous donut from Blender Guru. It's definitely a good place to start. I think what you'll want to focus on moving forward from that is what interests you, what gets you excited about making things. And for me, that's making characters. I love making characters. But you'll kind of want to figure out what that is for you, because the hardest part you're going to have in the future is just understanding what keeps me going. And as long as you understand that, then you can put in an infinite amount of time into this work, because you'll enjoy it every time. I missed a little square there. Gosh darn it. There, mark the seam there. So everything needs to be straight, so then words and everything don't look weird. I'm very much someone who is going to do my best to straighten my UVs. But it's not something that appeals to everyone, though. A lot of people do not want to straighten them out, so you can get away without straightening them so much. It's just what I prefer doing. It gives me the results that I'm looking for. I'll be doing this till challenges stop appearing. Exactly. It's all about the learning and enjoying it. What are my thoughts about AI? I think AI is going to be very much a part of what people do in the future. I think I don't think anyone can say otherwise. I think there's a lot of like anti-AI sentiment right now, which makes sense because there's a lot of A lot of people saying really weird stuff about like, oh, artists are over and this and that, but I don't really buy into that aspect of it. Um, I think that most likely artists will be the ones that are able to take the most advantage of AI in the future. And it's really a question of what do we define as ethical training for AI. But the moment an AI can do everything I can do here in Blender, then all other jobs are screwed anyway. So I might as well stick with what I'm going to enjoy doing. Like, might as well do what I love because um, if it all falls apart anyway, at least I'm doing what I like. Um, but I don't think it'll be quite as dramatic as that. I think we will very much ease into the tools that we like, um, and most importantly, to recognize that AI is just a tool. At that, feels like AI is going to ruin everything. I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you know when the printing press first came out that people were saying we should censor the printing press? We should prevent people from using the printing press because it'll corrupt people's minds and this and that. Um, we're kind of in the modern version of that phase, I feel. It certainly will change things. No one, I'm not arguing that, but it will be a different world. Um, and I think we will rise to meet it. What other choice do we have? AI is a weird place right now. It will allow more to create good, but artists gain a new powerful tool to further their creative tool bag. Absolutely. So I think artists will 100%. Once there's a lot of artists using these tools, then like they're going to be the ones setting the bar in terms of quality and what we can even conceive to do with it. Um, it's like I love to make characters, things from scratch, but when things start to happen from just one click, where's the fun in that? Well, I also think that you're never going to get the results you want just from doing a click. I saw someone complaining like on the Midjourney forum recently, which is an AI art generator, like, oh, Midjourney is great if you just want to generate like an idea, but the moment you want to get specific, like it's really bad. And it's like, well, yeah, that's what art's for. like like it's just kind of an average and a guess at what something could be, which could yield very interesting creative concepts, but consistency, at least right now, is going to be a huge problem for AI. Um, what does Mark Seams do? Mark Seams is telling the object where to cut it. So if you imagine like a box, it's like, oh, I need to open this box. What's your what spot are you cutting in order to begin to unfold it? Um, and so the algorithm in Blender will take those seams and lay them out like that. So if I go down to here, you can see that there's a seam right here on the bottom, and that separates this section, these two sections right here. There should be a seam there. Interesting. Maybe I cleared it on accident. Well, now there's a seam there. um, I know AI use speed up the tools method for executing code optimization will be the biggest benefit I can see coming sooner rather than later. Oh yeah. I mean, we'll all be in VR, telling AIs to create things on the fly, inventing games on the fly, but we'll be able to do way more than we've done in the past because of that. Have you ever created an anime character in Blender? That's kind of what I'm going for. I have created some. If you go to, you're on YouTube, so I have my links on Twitch, but I haven't set them up on uh, YouTube. Actually, I don't really have any. I have some Toon style characters, but usually they're kind of ignore that. They're like a furry style. Um, so this character came out pretty well in like a Toon way. This one's a little bit more anime. This is more like Toonish. But there are a lot of tutorials out there, and it is the same process underneath the hood. Really, the only major difference is going to be how do you use your textures and shaders to kind of give it the look, but you're still going to make the geometry in the same way. You're still going to unwrap it in the same way. Um, it'll just be a different shape, different shapes that you're making. If that makes sense. And we've got this one, that one. You should know you know they should make AI for things that bother us like retone and UV. I 100% agree. And yeah, once that really comes around. I mean, they came out with an AI recently that was like text to 3D, so you could provide it a prompt and it would make a 3D object out of it. And that made me feel a lot better because looking at the quality of the model that was coming out, I was like, okay, AI got a long way to go. um, it was not good. It was very much like a uh, amalgamation, the idea of what a 3D model is, and not necessarily something you could ever use in production. Hello, Play. Welcome back. Hello, hello. Always love the look of cyberpunk cyborg like avatars. They cool. They are cool. They don't just look cool. They are cool. And if any of you have not spent time in VR chat and you like cyberpunk stuff, definitely check out VR chat. It's really a lot of fun. It's the most cyberpunk experience you can have right now. For now. Soon we'll have other. The future will be rife with cyberpunk stuff. Hello, Yandere. Welcome back. Look up Shozo. He does them. And Nij Huang. They do anime stuff in Blender. I watched a few tutorials, and so far they all just sculpted their characters. That's not a bad way to approach it. If you're feeling nervous about sculpture, the best way to break through that is just go ahead and sit down and do it because it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It just takes time to learn. But it is fun and worthwhile. The last thing I'll say about AI is like, sure, things are changing this and that. My only big gripe with the conversation right now around AI is the people saying we shouldn't even touch it because it's so obvious that it's going to be a big part of what we do. It'd be like telling someone 20 years in the past to ignore the internet. It's like, oh, you're an artist and you want to make a living? Never ever touch the internet. Like, well, what do you mean? Oh, just don't do it. Don't do it. And it's like, okay, well, we all know it's going to be a part of our future. So I think shouldn't be so reticent to explore it. But we should be ready to call out bad practices when it comes to art and how it's trained. Those things are concerns. But it's definitely going to be a part of our future no matter what. And it's really weird for me when people just yeah, I don't get the mentality to just bury your head in the sand. That doesn't make sense to me. Hello, Pablo. Welcome. I've spent like 2,600 hours in VR chat currently, and that's only my PC playtime. Wow. Well, welcome, netizen. Welcome to the future. You're already more in the future than I am. The only way I could see that useful is for blocking out a shape. Oh yeah, absolutely, Sky. Yeah, I think sculpting, the one major problem with modeling things from scratch, even though that's what I did for this character, generally your biggest problem is going to be how that you're doing two things at once. Modeling, you're trying to make good topology and you're trying to find the right shape in one go. And that's really where it gets challenging. If you can break it up so that you're doing just one of those things at a time, I think that's valuable. Clears up your mind for doing things in separate separate pieces. Find the shape, then make the topology. How did you approach this character? Which part did you start the modeling from? Well, for this character, when I'm commissioned by someone, they do provide reference images. So I have this reference image to base it off of. But I started with the big circle because that was a good reference point for the scale, the scale thing. Where I need you, I'm a Roblox modeler, and the thing is that to export models to Roblox, you need to bake them. You shouldn't need to bake them. Or what does baking mean to you in this context? Do you mean like optimizing it? I have 1,641 hours on Steam on VR chat, but I played like 3 years on Quest before that. Wow. I'm impressed. I need to get I've got rookie numbers when it comes to VR chat. I need to bump those up. I need to bump them up. Get my grind on. And what exactly are you baking? What are you using to bake when you say baking? Applying the material nodes to give it a UV texture. Oh, gotcha. So in a lot of game engines, when you take your work from Blender to your other program, Roblox, Unity, Unreal, your textures are not going to be in the model. Instead, you bring your model and your textures, and you take your textures and put them into a new material in that program. So, for example, when I'm in going from Blender to Unity, even if I have textures here, I'm going to reassemble it into a new material inside of Unity or Roblox or whatever. So there is no baking of materials in there's no such thing as baking images into an FBX. You just have your FBX file and you have your texture files, and all of those things you import into your project. So if you're making an eye and you make an eye image, you export that image by itself into Roblox. I think there may be a little bit confusion here on baking. Usually it just refers to the process of creating new textures, new image files, like a JPEG or a PNG, and then bringing those into your target project, like Unreal or Unity or something. Are you trying to bake the shader nodes to a texture? Okay, I see what you mean. Gotcha. If you've made an image, like you painted out an image in Blender, then that's already baked. When you need to bake a shader, that is a little trickier. That is certainly a little trickier. Sorry, I definitely was confused by what you're saying there, Pablo. But you need to have a UV with the FBX file. Yes. So right now, here, when I'm looking at my model, I have a UV file, and you can see where it is in your data, your UV map. So this UV map is my UV map for the object that I'm working. If you have multiple UV maps, usually game engines only use the first one. So you want to make sure that if I have a second one, Roblox is probably only going to look at the first UV map. But when it comes to baking materials, like if you have a shader that you've made, a custom shader, how does that work? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it works the same. Okay, so is that what you're referring to? Hopefully, I think Chip, someone else. I think Nammers, you're talking about baking shader nodes, and I think Pablo's talking about bringing in texture images into a game, specifically Roblox. I believe that's the crux of the situation here. All right, we're gonna have the corner be up here. there. And we're just straightening everything out because I'm lazy. Bam. That's what I mean. I want to bake a shader. Gotcha. Okay, so that baking is definitely a little trickier for sure. You can really only bake one image at a time. So I'm going to do a very quick example. So if we have our image here, let's call this bake example. And I would recommend just reviewing this in YouTube clips to see what steps I take. Well, let's say we have a noise texture and we put it in the base color. So we have this noise image here. I could even put it into the bump. Bam. Let's say color. Vector, I could put it into the bump map, which gives me a normal map. It's loading. So now I have this bumpy, weird looking thing. If I want to bake these, then I have to switch my render engine to cycles. I would make sure to turn down your samples to like 2. You don't need to bake a bunch. It knows it doesn't sample a ton. And then with bake, do not use combine. That means trying to bring in all these different influences and bake them into one image. What I've found to be most successful, first you can target different slots. So if you're looking at your principled BSDF here, you see the base color. I could target, that's diffuse. Diffuse is the base color. But personally, I prefer using just the emission, and I would take my normal bump if I wanted to extract my normal map here, and I'd put it in emission, which you can't really see because it's going to be super bright. It's going to look really weird. But that way, it's taking this information, putting it into the emission, and then I would make another image texture here, make the image that I want to save it to. And with this one selected, then I'd hit bake. You have to make sure you have this one selected. Very important that you have this one selected. If you do not have this image selected, it will not bake correctly. And that's pretty much it. Definitely review this in, just back up in time and review this again if you want to, or clip it or something. If you want to review that. I won't go too much more into detail, but that's basically the gist of it. If I wanted my other maps, like my base color, then I would plug the base color into the emission, and I'd go from there. Because it works the cleanest with just the emission, because there's nothing else contributing to it. It's just taking that channel and it's putting it into an image file. Anyway, hope that helps. All right, UV editing, round 2. The only baking I know is Unity Lightmap baking. I made a couple worlds for VR chat. The one has hit 552,000 views so far. That's awesome. Let's go, Chip. Nice. They're shading baking tutorials for the Auto Eye Blender add-on. Okay. It's important to stick to one thing or even learn other things, for example, environment, explosions, etc. I think that the more you learn, the more you can do. The difficulty is trying to accomplish certain goals while you're learning. But especially with Blender, it's like the baking just there that I just showed off. That is something I learned doing something very different, but it has helped me a lot with other things I touch later. So it all comes together. If your concern is getting hired, then you'll want to focus on just one area and move as far as you can into just that one space. Like, I want to make characters or I want to make environments. That's when you'd want to get focused. Absolutely, Pablo. Hope that helps. happy to help out. Do you have a course or suggest anywhere I can learn shaders? Definitely YouTube is where I'd start. Shaders are interesting. If you have some experience coding, that may help you, because you can use, I believe, OpenGL or other shading languages to create very custom effects. There's also, it depends on what platform you want to go use as well. So if it's for Blender, I believe there are some books out there for shading in Blender. But I don't know too much about it. Other than YouTube, that's really where I've learned the most is YouTube. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. It's actually one of the winners for the VR Chat Spookality 2023 Hangout event. Hey, that's awesome. Let's go, Chip. That's super cool. That's really cool. I've always, every year, I'm like, I'm gonna do that, and then I forget. I'm like, I want to do that, the Halloween thing, and then I forget. That is super cool, though. Well, if you're looking for someone to, maybe I'll try to do like a collaboration with everyone this year. We'll get everyone together and do a Halloween place together. That'd be really fun, actually. I love group challenges for that. So I believe you can use a group team in that, if I remember correctly. It was my first try. Also, was so proud of myself. You should be. You should be. That's an awesome idea. Yeah, I think that would be super fun. Like a collaborative little place that we all make and stuff. It'd be satisfying too, you know. It'd be very satisfying to, because that way it's like people can contribute when they have time, but they're not really like obligated because it's like a studio or something, and it only lasts for a little while. So it's not like some open-ended thing that goes on forever. That is one of the problems with doing projects, collaborative projects, is like knowing when you should stop. It's like, it's very easy for projects to take on a life of their own and kind of want to perpetuate themselves. All right. All right, that's the butt. The butt is unwrapped. Hard to stop for sure. It is. It is. Or hard to begin in some ways. The ideas ramp up as it goes for short stuff like that. Power creep, but in in the video games, they have the term power creep. I think it's quite applicable to projects as well. Sam, you deserve a lot more followers. Oh, thank you, Chip. You're too kind. You're very kind to your followers and help them out while you're doing your own thing. Most streamers won't do things like that. Well, I love learning, and I feel a little like I can cheat because the moment I have to explain something to someone, I've learned it better myself. So it's kind of like I feel like and thank you. I'm very happy to help out. But they say that teaching helps you learn, helps cement the things in your brain. So I'm using, it's my brain hack. We're hive minding here together. Hey, Chimericali, thank you for the follow. Or Chimerical. Chimerical. Either way, thank you for following. Welcome to the stream. Hello. If you have any questions, let me know. Right now, we're in the midst of retopologizing this mech here and having a blast. So welcome. Yeah, I'm hoping to do big things. If the stream continues to grow like this, and it does seem to be growing quite directly, I'd like to do some more community focused projects. You said it right. Oh, thank you. Okay, but which way did I say it? The first time or the second time? I got my girlfriend to follow you. Hey, welcome. Hope you're having a good stream and continue to do so. Thank you. Thank you. First person ever to get her name right. Thank you. I feel proud then. It's always, sometimes I have to sound them out because I'm curious if I'm like pronouncing an innuendo. It's like, is this name actually appropriate? The first one. Okay. Chimera. Or no. Wait. Yeah, Chimera Collie. Chimera Collie. I believe. Now I'm doubting myself. Hey! No, it was the first one. Omega Quarks, thank you for hanging out today, and thank you for the follow. It's been fun chatting with you. Definitely let me know if you have any additional questions, and I'm wishing you well on your Blender journey. Blender journey. I think we cut it this way. This way, like this. We'll just slice off the front of this. And probably the front here too. Bam, bam, bam. Absolutely. Absolutely, Omega. It's good to see people excited to learn. I feel like maybe eventually I'll have like kind of a Bob Ross vibe. I'm like the Bob Ross for VR dad. There's some funny jokes that could come out from that though. Well, I'm going to pop out now, but have a great stream. If I see you streaming again, I'll pop back in. By sounds good, Chip. Enjoy your day. Thank you again for coming by, and good luck with your work. I'll have to check out your world sometime. There's another world I needed to check out. Someone made a arcade world. Evolved Ant, I believe. I'll have to check that out sometime. This got messy in here. Messy. And then here. Bam. Bada boom. Okay, what are we looking like? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay. A little bit of stretching right here. I think we could just cut this and this and get away with that. And then that's looking pretty decent. On my way. On my way. Yeah, before I'll leave, I'll say my world's name, Whisper in the Dark, is what it's called. Whispers in the Dark. I can type. Okay, well, we won't click that one, but there we go. Bye, Chip. There we go. Ooh, very cool. I think I remember. Oh no, this is a meme face, right? I feel like I've seen that before. Very cool. Okay, well, save that over there. Log in. Oh, it's okay. VRC list is a different site than VRC. Well, heck yeah, I will have to check that out, Chip. Backrooms. It's got that vibe. It's got that vibe. Ready to get eaten alive. Okay, I think we'll do a cut here and here. And then, oh, this one does not seem to be unwrapping at all. Excuse me. Or it is. Is it different material? I don't see it collapsed. I would like to learn more. Yeah, shaders are hard as heck. I would like to learn more about shading too. It is definitely a challenge, and there's a lot of different types of shaders. You know, shaders change from one program to another on how they're kind of composed and used. There we go. What I would say is that, but Blender's actually what gave me any sort of knowledge about how to use shaders. Just farting around the shader nodes is really fun. Um, Seeing how they work and change and stuff. Okay, looks like everything is unwrapping now. And I need to go to the restrooms. I'll be right back, everyone. Just one moment. Gonna go to the banyo, and I'll return in just a bit. 1 second. Oh, I'm back. I'll be back. I'm back. Now, messing around with them is probably one of the best ways to learn them. If you follow a tutorial one to one, there's a good chance you won't learn much or retain anything. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's one of the cool things about this kind of work is you can just treat it like a toy and just go in and fart around with it and see what works, what doesn't. um, you can't really do that with like calculus or if you're a chemist or something, you can't really just throw random chemicals into a jar. willy-nilly, at least safely. So you get to take advantage of that as a 3D artist. Treat it like a toy. Bam. I want to take this edge here. Bam. And that will even out the pattern along the bottom of this, which I like. We can do more to that in just a second. But now I want to put the cursor right here, and we'll even it out this way horizontally. So it goes straight up the side. Maybe not right here. A little more like that. When the vertices turn red, what is happening? So this is pinning. So if you imagine like a piece of cloth, we're just pinning it to the board so we can kind of pull and move the rest of the cloth, and that point is going to stay there. When you have live unwrap on, that gives you the ability to adjust these pins, and everything else is going to adapt to it. And then when you move something else, like these ones here are not moving because they're pinned. So very useful with the live unwrap. And also just if you want to ensure that your UV map doesn't change or update automatically, you pin the whole thing and save it or prevent it from getting messed with. I got the texture of the iris, but the pupil stays black. And this iris is just from... And did you put the base color into the emission? I think that will work. Yeah, it kind of wraps up there. That looks nice. That looks nice. Such a nice unwrap. But yeah, by pinning and just, you can adjust things. Are you scaling to 0 to straighten the vertices? Correct. To flatten them. And then to distribute them, that's through the UV toolkit. When I make them evenly spaced. Can't find base color. You must be using some sort of custom shader. Are you using like a shader you bought from or found online? Or is this one you made yourself? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I'll wait till you answer that question before I hit you with my next one. So you're using one you found online. It should generally look like this. If it's all condensed into one, that's because they've grouped it. So I just hit Control G here. You can see something like this where you have the shader and then there's a node group. So most likely what you're looking for is in the node group. Like here. See how I've condensed it into this node group. So once you're in there, you should be able to see a little bit more as what's going on under the hood. And potentially then you can attach things to the emission more directly. But I don't know how that shader works. Most likely that's what it's doing. But well, not sure how much insight I'll be able to give for a custom application. There we go. It's a little stretched there, but at least they're not collapsed on themselves anymore. And we'll take this one, pin it, kind of pull it out in order to straighten this section, like so. Potentially, TinyEye does have documentation on how to bake those textures. It says on the TinyEye Gumroad that you have to dive into the node groups to bake it the old-fashioned way, sadly. Oh, okay, you beat me to it, Namers. You beat me to it. We're open. What's the phrase? Crowdsourcing? We're crowdsourcing the work. There is no node logo on the shading tab. So this one just says node group, but as long as it has this little button right here with the like two little tabs, that means it's a node group. But it doesn't necessarily say node group. I can name it whatever I want. Example, like that, and it'll be an example shader there. Okay, that's okay. Another way you can do it is just to straight up screenshot the eyeball. If you really can't get to the baking to work properly, you could just like isolate the eye, put a camera in front of it, and then just render out the image a normal way, the normal way. Because in your view layers, you could render out just the direct, where is it, diffuse or something. But that might be an extreme case. All right, I think that's looking pretty sharp. I got the UV and it's rendered and every color is good. Okay, perfect. Good. Every time you export it, most likely, well, when you say export it, what are you doing when you export it? Are you putting it into the FBX? So that's not technically how it works. Basically, when you're bringing all your stuff into Roblox, you're going to bring in your FBX file and then separately bring in that eye image and then put it into a material. If you have the texture just in the FBX file, Roblox isn't going to know what to do with that. So you need to make a new material and bring in the image by itself, put it into that material inside Roblox. It won't set itself up automatically in Roblox. It won't really know what you're trying to do, basically. So you need to. Okay, so you brought in the image by itself, and it still has that. Then potentially your image has transparency. If there's anything mentioning transparency there, you may want to take a look at it. looks pretty good. I think I'll leave that chunk alone. I'll move on to the next one. Bam. First, we'll cut here. Bam. Looks like the official Tiny Ivy demo video has a tutorial inside it for manually baking. Okay, perfect. If you want to link that video, Nammers, you can go ahead. I'll export the eyes in OBJ so it has no color and no material property. You can just remove it from the material right here. So if this is empty, like this, then it will not export with materials. Alright, that's laying out flat now. I think I'm gonna have to remove this little winged section. Yeah. Bam. All right. Bam. Thanks, Nammer. I would like to have the video. Should be timestamped. Oh, did it? I don't see a link on my end. Let me know if it got in a filter or my spam filter. Or I don't know what type of filter it would be. Hello again, Kaiser. Is it okay to cut square into a triangle if it's bending too much and causes solid viewport shading issues because of that? To triangle. To take a square and turn it into two triangles? Yes. So a lot of the times on like curved surfaces, I will turn certain squares into triangles because I want it to triangulate in a very specific way, especially on like butts or like butts. Like if you look at it from the side, the triangles are like this little jagged shape, like the zigzag. So you want to cut the triangles so that it looks rounded in a very as you want it. It will look the way you want it to. But yes, I would do that. I'm very comfortable cutting them. I think it may have deleted the link. Gotcha. If you want to post it in Discord, I can we can find it there. Pablo, if you'd like to join the Discord, my Discord, I will send you the link right now. And then you can find that link there. These two are very far apart. There we go. Boom. Beautiful. Then do that here. And there. All right, what's this look like? Much better. Much, much better. This section's still not room. That's fine. It's fine. This here. No need to keep this separate. Clear that seam right there. That works perfectly. Awesome. All right. Keep an eye out on that video. Boom. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for posting that, Naaman. Super appreciated. And it looks like Pablo's already on that. Awesome. Thank you again. Appreciate the help with that. With getting that video posted. Bam, bam. I think I have to start here. Like. Pin. And straighten, oops, straighten those. Beautiful. Might as well include these ones as well. And these ones. Already doing UVs, yeah, we're getting to it. We're getting to it. It's coming out well. It's coming well. We got a few done already. We got the tail done, some of the arm done. I think we'll make quick work of it. But also, hello, Draw. Welcome. Welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day. It's already Wednesday. Isn't that wild? What the heck? What the heck? Hello. Bam. Boom. Boom. And boom. All right. There we go. Do you know why sometimes the UV squares when highlighted are white like that? This is your active selection. So just like in the 3D view, usually, or when you have like multiple objects, it's like whichever one is your primary selection. That one broke. And that broke. I must have included a triangle or an n-gon of some kind. There we go. The whole time I thought it was like weird stuff with the mesh. That makes a lot of sense. Now I just feel silly. That's funny. It's not clear. It makes you feel better. It's like Blender doesn't give you any sort of clue. Never says it explicitly. It's just this one is highlighted. And yeah, you can see it here too. That's funny. Diggy, checking in to say keep on keeping on. Same to you, Diggy. Hope you have an amazing Wednesday. Thank you for coming by. Hello, hello. It's Diggy. Let's pretend we all knew that. Ah, yeah. I'm just telling you guys. Telling you guys stuff you already know. But it do be like that in in Blender. It's like there's so many things that just they're never gonna say. It's never gonna say explicitly like what it's for. It just happens to do that thing in that way. Blender masters. Blender foo. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that square. Look how square the squares are. Yes. Oh, my cat's yelling. I think that means she wants to be put on camera. Even though she doesn't particularly like being held. Woo! It's actually a challenge for Blender to find things we don't know. And the worst part about looking up Blender documentation is there's like usually if you Google it, you get some response to a post from like 8 years ago that was a different version of Blender. And you're so right, Nanners. Nammers. Nammers bananas. The dev team for Blender has to call you when they come up with questions when they run into something they don't know. All right, this is looking sharp. Beautiful. Oh, Lux, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? You want to say? Did you just? I'll pick you up here. You're full of food. She's so full of food right now. Kind of stinky. And you're wheezy. Oh, gross. She needs a blow nose. Oh, baby. Yeah. She just ate, so she's like. It's funny. Every time she eats, she's got to like come out and like do like a victory lap. She's like, "Yeah, I just ate." She just screams and yells. I love cats. They're so stupid. Okay, that one's done. Let's get that one out of here. And then we'll take this edge. Squish it. She's like a chunky bread. It's true. A loafer. Hello, Kai. Welcome. Hello. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having an amazing one. My cat is too lazy for laser pointers. She gets the lazy pointer instead. What do you think of that pun? Should be like this. Boo! I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. It's too good not to do. All right, we're looking good here. We're looking good. No, that works. Straighten it out that way. How's your day going, Kai? Up to anything fun today? Besides kicking butt and taking names? Well, She's still yelling. I think she knows it's getting close to lunchtime for me, so she wants me to come. She's like, I ate. I'm sleepy. Time for you to give me attention. I just used an add-on to make everything a square, but that can make problems too, I imagine. It depends. Sometimes I have this feature where I can straighten a mesh and it'll try to lay it out very flat and square. But sometimes it overlaps and it doesn't know how to work with shapes that aren't squares. So that can be a little tricky. But again, UVs is all about what are you doing with your UV map? How are you going to be painting your UV map? That's really your primary concern. Hello, Adyash. Welcome. Welcome back. So if you know how you're going to paint it, because one technique that's a few people have talked about and I've seen before is you just use gradients. Like your image that you're using is just a gradient, let's say from white to black, and you can just project your character and put that chunk of mesh on there so you get like a very even gradient. So fast, how? 712 subs, congrats. Thank you. We're moving up. It is really moving quite quickly. That makes me feel good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone. Sometimes the notifications don't come through, or you guys are subscribing silently. It's a big shout out to everyone that has subscribed today. Thank you, or followed. Thank you. I have a thing that makes it as a grid too, but I have two matching UVs from symmetric mesh. They don't get gridded to the same scale. Interesting. Two matching UVs, symmetric. They don't get gridded to the same scale. It's super annoying. Oh, gotcha. Do you mean like for example, the text would be different sizes here? Consistent upload. It's true. That's true. I think YouTube likes it that I stream very regularly. It's like, yes, more. There we go. Just straightening these out. Make them nice and tidy. Because if it is about making like the sizing relative to each other the same, like two identical islands, when I gridify them, they're two different sizes, but the same exact shape. Interesting. Okay. I can easily enough scale them to be the same size, but IDKY does that by default. That is weird. I have to see what tool you're using. But one quick fix is you could scale a bunch of stuff and then use the UV average island scale in the transform, and that's going to take all your islands, and based on how big they are in 3D, it will scale them to be proportional to each other. Yeah, so that's just right in UV average. Which tool? Yeah, I'm curious what tool you're using there, Draw. Very handy, because then you can get all your islands roughly the same size. My cat is running around. What are you doing in there? Bro, when you become a successful streamer, please don't forget us. I won't. You'll be there with me. You'll be in the chat. We'll all be major successful Blender users. Crushing the game industry. Kicking butt. That's the game plan. Hang on one second, guys. My cat's making. What are you doing? What are you doing? You feel so. I can hear her just running around like crazy. It's so funny. You just wonder, it's like, is there an emergency happening right now, or is she just hyper? Our brains are growing too fast. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what growth on YouTube is going to be like, because I hit 1,000 subscribers on Twitch a while back. Shout out Twitch, thank you. And Twitch followers. But at the same time, some of that are definitely bots. It seems like there's less bots on YouTube. Not like 100% sure on that, but I went from 600 to like over to like 1,200 in one day because there was like some bot train that followed me. They all had like the same name basically. So anyway, I feel like I cheated a little bit. I'll be quite proud to get the YouTube. On Twitter, I got bot followers too. Oh yeah, it's like sexy lady with a saucy name. Like I don't trust that. Don't trust that at all. Meanwhile, some boomer grandpa's like, yeah, still got it. I still got it. Same, happens so often on Twitter. Bot gives you money. That's good, right? I think so. Think so. I mean, I'm certainly not complaining necessarily. Just I just noticed it's happening. Maybe I'm complaining a little. I like when I know it's like legit people. Sorry, my bank is calling me. They want my PIN number. Yeah, every time my mom like anyway, I won't get into every time she's like dealing with technical stuff, I get worried. Get concerned. Mm, sure you know what you're doing? I can take a clip and I'll share it in your server if you're curious. Yeah, go right ahead. A few items, even the one here has the same problem as Gridify, I think. Oh, let me double check. Let me double check. Right, we're just gonna straighten out all these lines because it's easy and it looks good. Boom. And then we want to move these over. Look at it from the top. Boom. Oh, interesting. I think I collapsed this edge here. I definitely did. I definitely did. There we go. Oh. Bob. Bob. All right, we got another 5 minutes or so, and then I will be going on lunch. I got to get some food in my belly. But for everyone that knows the drill, anyone that's new here, actually, I do break my day up into 2 streams. So we're not done for the day. I'll just be going on lunch, ending this first stream, and we'll be back in a little while. So if you are new here, definitely hit that follow and subscribe button because I'll be back soon. And we'll be working on our Minotaur. We're going to get our Minotaur painting. Very excited about that. It's been a long time coming, it feels. But we're finally getting to the painting for Ebonhorn. All right, let's take a look. Blender. Little video here. Oh, you have a little paw? That's so cute. What the heck? Gridify. Gotcha. Interesting. I don't really use the Gridify that much. I tend to use, where is it? I think just Straighten. I use Straighten instead. How long have you been working on that character? I've been working on Ebonhorn since last Monday. Both of these characters I've been working on since last Monday. So we'll probably finish Ebonhorn by Friday. And this character, the mech character, has some additional expressions and stuff that will probably carry us into at least Tuesday next week. Oops. So significant more. So a large amount of work is left, but it's going quickly. But yeah, Draw 4. The straighten does have the same problem. It's wonkly. Most just a minor inconvenience, but I wasn't sure if there was a reason it was doing that. No, I think I also noticed that as well. It does just seem to be a little variable. If you, what I do prefer doing sometimes is the distribute feature is very exact. So if you have like your grid, you can line up the corners and then distribute all the edges, and that goes pretty quick. That's yelling. How long is that approximately in hours? I would say it takes me about 40 hours of work to finish an avatar. For these ones, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. We'll probably hit like 60. I'm guessing Zin will probably take me at least 80 hours worth of work, the mech here, because we've got some extra features to add later. And then, yeah, about that long. And then Eben will probably end right at about 40 hours. Is there a way to fix it if you ever want to overlap UVs perfectly? If you're using a mirror modifier, that's probably the easiest. I just use vert snap to scale, and move that allows you to overlap them perfectly and scale perfectly. That is a great way to do it as well. But if it's a mirror, I would definitely just lean on the mirror modifier. Than that, definitely what Draw is saying there would work quite well. Oh, thank you. Oh, donkey. Donkey. Still getting some stretching here. I don't like that it's kind of like curved in here. That's no good. I think I need to cut this edge. No, I can't. Okay, we're going to separate this little chunk completely. It'll just look better in the long run. I think so. I think we'll do that. Yeah, let's leave it for now. Actually, it is noon. Maybe I'll just end it here. My hunger is kind of interrupting my thought process now. My tummy's a rolling. So I think we will. Thank you both. Absolutely, absolutely. Dang, that's impressive. Thank you, Omega. It's very fun, but I am cheating because this is my full time job. So, if it takes you a few weeks to make an avatar, that is pretty normal. That's pretty normal. I will. I am gonna go eat Nammers. Thank you, and thank you everyone who has been chilling, hanging out with me. Been a great morning, great Wednesday, and I hope you're all having a fantastic one. Again, I'll be back very, very soon, probably about an hour and a half, and we'll get into working on the Minotaur. We're going to be baking, painting, texturing. If you want to know how the baking process works, or you want to know how Substance Painter works, definitely stick around. And again, hit that follow, hit that subscribe. But Nammers, Omega, Draw, I'll see you all very soon. Hope you're having an amazing day. Much love. See you very soon. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. See you soon. Have a good lunch. I will. I'm going to munch and crunch and cuddle with my friends.